a very, very, very long time ago, in a very, very faraway land, across the oceans, past the streams, in the tiny Jewish village of Calabasas, there lived a rather wonderful man by the name of Yosef. And everybody in town loved Yosef. He had a small, little business, made enough money, not too much, but Yosef always had time for people who came by. And one day, a visitor came from out of town. Yosef knew he was a visitor because Yosef knew everybody in the town. And so he knew this visitor was someone from out of town. So he welcomed him into his shop. He asked him if he had a place to make Shabbat. He invited him into his home, shared what dinner he had. He did not know, of course, that he was sharing his dinner with the Rabbi, who was stopping on Calabasas en route to the major Jewish metropolitan town of Ventura. And so the Rebbe left him with a blessing. May all of your industry increase to reward you in the manner in which you seek to go and reward others. Guys thought, that's great. Who knows? Let's see what happens. But sure enough, Yosef's business starts booming. He can't keep the customers out. There's not enough room in the store. The store gets bigger. The house gets bigger. Even the car gets nicer. Everything gets nicer. He upgraded to a donkey cart, 2 donkeys. It's a big deal. And he even bought a brand new house, which he furnished with the most lovely furnishings. But as his business got more and more intense, he found that he had less and less time to devote to the occasional stranger. He would certainly make sure that anybody who crossed into his town who was in need got taken care of, but sometimes they had to go through middle management in order to make their way to Yosef. And Yosef sometimes would spend his free time looking at his most prized possession, an absolutely elegant, beautiful mirror. A mirror. Now, mirrors are very common in our time, so we might not think of them as beautiful, but back in the ancient Jewish village of Calabasas, they weren't quite so common. They had just come about. And Yosef had the biggest mirror on the block. It was absolutely gorgeous, a perfect reflection, which in those days was hard to find. Beautiful gold foil around the sides. One might even dare say it was the most beautiful mirror in all the land. Maybe even. Maybe, no, not as beautiful as Cantor Lamb's voice, but close. That being said, the Rebbe heard about the change of events. He came to see his good friend Yosef, to see what had happened. He had discovered that the blessing had worked, but Yosef's heart was not moved as it once was to ensure that he could greet every single person. And so it took time before the Rebbe could meet Yosef. Middle management, it has its drawbacks. But finally, the Rebbe gets to meet with Yosef, and he asks him to look into his mirror. Yosef looks into the mirror, and he says, "What do you see?" He said, "I see myself." He said, "Look deeper into the mirror. What do you see?" "I see the furnishings of my beautiful home. I see the carpets, the paintings, the chairs." He said, "All lovely, all well-deserved." He said, "Now go take a look out the window and tell me what you see." And Yosef went and he looked out the window and he saw people passing by. He said, "Sure, I know, that's Motel. Motel, unfortunately, is a wood carver, but his hands don't work the way they used to. I know he comes by for soup every couple days. And that's Sarah. Sarah's doing all right, but every now and then she needs a little hand to get by. I know, we take care of her. What is up, Rabbi? What are you talking about? Why am I looking out the window? I know all these people. And the Rebbe leaned in and said, Yosef, if you only stared out this window and stopped staring in your mirror, how would your heart be moved? Would it be moved differently? Would you be telling me the same things you're telling me about these people? And Yosef looked at the Rebbe and said, perhaps in order for my heart to be moved and my heart to move me, I have to look outside my own heart into the hearts of others. And then perhaps we can create things of true beauty. May this be our blessing on this Shabbat and every Shabbat going forward. Shabbat Shalom.